it's your boy Dizzwolf, and I'm coming to tell y'all that it might be harder to hear me that whole video for the reason that I was sleepy because it was 3 in the morning. I was literally serious about the 3 in the morning part, and I'm just not getting up. Not too long ago, just wanted now I tried to edit this video a little bit, and I realized I was gonna hear my voice. And I definitely not re-recorded that video. But next time, I probably not go on the video at 3 a.m. ever again. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Sorry that y'all can't hear me. Peace out. Hey everybody, it's your boy Dizzwolf here, and today is like, I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm a little bit sleepy. Been up since 8 o'clock yesterday. It's October 1st, and we got in this 6. Well, you see it on the screen. Also, this is by Mr. Nightmare. My friend told me about him, and let's get started. Hope this don't be too scary.
A Redditor by the name of Jessica shared footage she recorded in the Airbnb she was renting. There wasn't supposed to be anybody else in the rental, and she didn't even meet the owners as the keys were left in the mailbox. Shortly into her stay, she was getting ready to take a shower when she started hearing sounds from inside the walls. She rushed to
I'm actually being in that shower, just hearing sounds. Couldn't be me. I'll be going out that house in an instant. But I don't know, I'm done. You can have this place.
get her camera and get the sounds on video. This is what she captured.
Why you still there? At that moment, I left that house. I'm not even joking.
As you can see, after finding a sealed ventilation duct and pulling the seal off of it, the terrifying voices of people speaking Latin became much clearer and sound as though they were speaking the Trinitarian formula and other religious phrases. Strangely, the voices apparently fell silent abruptly, but that wasn't where the nightmarish experience ended for Jessica. That night, with the bathroom door open and the bathroom light on, a picture was taken of her as she was sleeping, and the person who took the picture was holding a note in front of the camera that said it's rude to eavesdrop. This was the security footage recorded one rainy night in Huacho, Brazil. In the recording, a confused-looking woman is seen walking through the street in the rain, and at first this seems relatively normal, nothing too unusual, until the woman seems to slowly disappear as she gets closer to the bottom of the screen, until she vanishes altogether. When zoomed in, you can also see the woman seems scantily dressed for the weather conditions seen in the video. Sure, someone can say it's just a smudge on the screen or perhaps some other digital problem. However, moments later, a motorcycle passes by in the same region in which the woman seemed to vanish, yet it's completely visible. And then the same could be said with the truck as it makes its turn, completely visible. It also appears that the driver of the truck may have been reacting to what he also just witnessed to be a vanishing woman. Whether this was just camera trickery or really a wandering apparition is up to the viewer to decide.
I ain't felt this good in a minute. Own it. I ain't tryna rent it. It feel like it's third down. So I'ma slip farm like Emmett Smith. Yeah, I'm going in, baby.
I wouldn't usually skip a game advertisement.
This video was captured in Costa Rica on someone's home security camera. At an off hour in the night, out from the woods comes a bizarre, horrifying-looking creature. At first, one might assume it's just a person doing some kind of crab walk, or if this were Australia, they would just assume it's another spider. But you don't even have to watch too closely to ask why or how the arms and legs would be the same length if this were a person. If it was just a person contorting his or her body, the creature wouldn't appear as long as it does and would most likely have a noticeable lump in its back from them contorting their torso. Also, based on the dog's reactions, this was not the work of CGI, as they were reacting to something that's actually there and cause for alarm. This fourth video was taken from the Japanese YouTube channel Omogatoki Films. Their channel focuses on exploring haunted locations and capturing paranormal events on video. In January of this year, the owners of the channel were contacted by a real estate agent regarding a house he's been having trouble selling, due to the fact that the house used to be owned by a family that mysteriously disappeared in 2013.
Mysteriously disappeared. I wonder what really happened. They dead, and they long gone to disappear. They dead, and the body's gone. That house is haunted.
僕が前勤めていた不動産屋さんの、元先輩、何やら僕らに対してちょっと一度見てほしい物件。
その古い戸建てを会社で買ったんだけど、急に取り込みできた人で、いくらで売りたいか聞くじゃん。で、そしたらもう本当破格の
売り主さんが持っていたその土地の上に3人の家族が家を建てて住み始めたらしいんですよね。ただ今から6、7年ぐらい前にある日を境にその3人
All of the previous owner's belongings were left in the house, adding to the mystery. The real estate agent refuses to even enter the house, as he believes there's a dark entity in the house, and he hopes that they would be able to search the house and find any kind of explanation, as this is what they do for a living. The agent mentions to them to make sure to keep all the doors shut while investigating the house, but doesn't mention why. As the two are exploring this closet, they notice something after reviewing the footage. See if you can find it.
ほら、もう全部開いてるもん。ああ、確かに確かに。すっごい、本当。物がやばい。
If you didn't see it, behind a clothes rack, you can see two bare feet underneath. This isn't the last time they can be seen. As they search a nearby room, the feet can be seen again, this time much closer and visibly barefoot. Later on in the night, one of the two decide to place a camera in the dark and sit in one room, waiting for something to happen. After about 15 minutes, he decided to investigate other rooms, while still remembering to shut all the doors behind him.
Got out of there, and they was like, no, what the freak? I saw a whole face. My brain will be like, we can go back for my camera, or I can just get another camera and run. But they see a whole face.
As you just saw, there was a face looking in through the door, but as he approaches, it disappears. There's no one outside the door. It could be speculated that the house is haunted by the family that mysteriously disappeared almost a decade ago.
That guy was like, what y'all doing in my house? I ain't supposed to have no company. I'm still alive. Why are these people in my house? I told my kids to go hide behind the closet, clothes and stuff. I still wonder why they're still here. Oh no, he heading towards me. I better disappear.
This was some alleged sighting of La Llorona. La Llorona is known as a ghost who roams waterfront areas mourning her drowned children. This video was captured in León, Guanajuato, Mexico. The video is of a man running from what resembles La Llorona.
Perra madre. Ah, su puta madre. No mames.
In the video, if you slow it down and zoom in, the figure in the distance resembles a woman in a white dress crying and yelling. The man was coming home from a party around 3 o'clock in the morning when he encountered the woman in front of him. As he starts to run in fear, the woman starts shouting at him, not making any sense of what she's saying. The man allegedly died 3 days after the sighting, and the cause of death was ruled a heart attack. This video was recorded in November of 2020, and it's just recently getting noticed. This was the footage captured by Russian YouTuber Dark Ghost. He posts high-quality ghost hunting videos, and this one might be one of his scariest. A woman had written to him about her deceased son who was obsessed with the paranormal and finding out what happens to the human soul after death and the afterlife. One day he told his mother,
Nope. Nope. I need. Nope. 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 I need. Leave my freaking headband on. Nope. 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 That song came back alive, and this freaking kill is a freaking ghost.
that he discovered a way to contact deceased relatives, and he traveled to the abandoned village where his late grandmother lived. A week later, the mother received a call from the son, saying he was hearing the voices of his grandparents among other entities. This call was the last that was heard of the son, and his body was found on the streets of the village. The cause of death was ruled to be acute heart failure. The mother asked Dark Ghost to visit the grandparents' old house where the son would often visit, and this was some of the footage he captured. Various sounds such as footsteps and knocks can be heard throughout the video, and on multiple occasions, doors and cabinets can be seen swinging open or closed on their own. If you didn't see it, a black shadow can be seen floating across the screen clear as day.
Либо шкаф все грохочет, я не понимаю, либо комод. Опа.
Next, he enters a creepy red room populated with disturbing pictures that the woman's son would collect and bring to the house.
Ну. Вроде бы как.
I swear, I got my boys. They got my boys. They'll help me out. My boy Eric, Joseph, Alex, all of them. They won't leave me go to a scary place by myself. If I had to go to a scary place by myself, I swear, I'm taking a weapon. And I might go get some holy water. Cause what the freak is that painting? He like, what type of son did you have, dude?
У меня вообще всего тут такого, как бы, фотографий таких. Жесть.
This is definitely one of those houses that an explorer should not go to alone. Based on the events in this video, there may have been someone or something in the house with him, watching him the entire time. Could it be the spirit of the woman's son? Or perhaps a much more hostile entity? Or could it all just be trickery? As usual, this was not even a month ago, so all the small details are still fresh in my mind. I have been using dating apps on and off for years. I think Tinder sucks along with its customer service, and I was never a fan of Hinge or OkCupid. I mainly use Bumble. In my Bumble bio, I have my height, which is 4'11", I make a joke about being short, and then I have my Instagram and Snap at the bottom. Because of that, I get a decent amount of random follow requests on Instagram. Half the time I don't follow them back. I also get a lot of random people adding me on Snap, probably more on there than on Instagram. I usually only add them back if I recognize their name from a recent conversation on Bumble, or if their Bitmoji looks pretty normal. I know, that sounds weird. I deal with a lot of stupid, disgusting boys on Bumble, but it's not as bad as Tinder. Still, I'll often have the typical douche frat boy asking if I do hookups or sending any kind of provocative messages. Usually when that happens, I'll mess with them a little bit and then unmatch them. This one time, I guess 3, almost 4 weeks ago, I matched this actually pretty attractive guy. He sent some pickup line that was kinda creative and got my attention. Pretty soon he asked for my Snap. Then seconds later he added me after noticing I had my Snap in my bio anyway. So I added him back because why not? He started messaging me on Snap. I screenshotted the first 2 pics on his Bumble profile and sent it to my girlfriends, mentioning how attractive he is. My friend Gianna replied right away saying it's a catfish. She matched it too. So I decided I'd mess with them a little bit. The things he was messaging me on Snap were slowly progressing to be more sexual, so I started saying the most unattractive things possible, and they started getting noticeably salty. I said I would be down to come over if they sent me a selfie. He didn't send a selfie, of course, he just replied with a message asking what my address is. I didn't reply at first.
Hey, yo, if somebody literally comes up to you like, send me your address. At that moment, you should unfollow them, don't even be friends with them no more. At that point, and you know they being creepy and stuff. Nah, you want my address so bad? See me a photo of yourself then. Cause if I don't know how you look, you're not getting that freaking the one I'm living at. I don't trust you that much.
Asking my girls what I should do next. But then I got a notification that the guy screenshotted my Snapchat profile. I immediately blocked him and remembered I had my location on the Snap map as public. The problem is the houses in my area are spaced out enough where he could easily identify which house I was in. I panicked, asking my girlfriends what to do. They tried to calm me down, assuring me there was no chance he'd come to my house. They did a good job because they made me realize how ridiculous him coming to my house sounded. I was watching New Girl on Netflix. The doorbell suddenly rang. I paused the show, and I felt my heart jump into my throat. I was home alone, not expecting my parents or siblings, and it was past 10. I turned off my bedroom light and TV screen. I wanted total darkness to give the illusion no one was home. I suddenly got a notification that someone added me on Snap. The username was "It's me, add me back." I blocked the account immediately. 2 minutes later, another account added me on Snap. This one, the username was "I'm outside your house." I screenshotted that and sent it to my friends and family, now in tears. I blocked it as well. There was a long pause now. I hoped maybe he had given up. During that time, I was texting friends and family, but ignoring all their phone calls because I was so paranoid that I'd be heard from outside. Finally, I got another dreaded notification from Snap, saying someone added me. This time the username said, "I'm looking right at you." I turned to the window naturally. I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd just ran out of the room and called 911. But I looked and saw him looking into my room, this disgusting, smiling man. I'm sure my face turned completely ghostly white as I looked at him. I ran out of the entire house, screaming at the top of my lungs down the street. 2 neighbors came outside in response, and I basically ran into one of their arms crying for help. The neighbor called the police for me, but the man was not found in or around the house. I somehow had to gather the courage to go back into that house and stay there for the night. I locked myself in my parents' room since it's the only bedroom upstairs with a lock, and I prayed I'd be able to fall asleep. I lay awake for seemingly hours though, and eventually I knew for a fact I heard something outside the door, like tiny, soft footsteps causing ever so slight cracks in the wood. I sat up and stared at the bottom of the door, dreading the lights outside turning on or someone trying to open the door. I grabbed my cell phone and dialed 911. I immediately said to the operator in a quiet whisper that someone was inside my house and I was alone. But maybe I didn't say it quietly enough, because footsteps on the other side of the door confirmed that I was right. I wasn't just hearing things. The footsteps walked away from the door quickly, and I heard them go down the stairs, and eventually I heard the front storm door slam shut. The cops arrived shortly. The same cops had returned. This time they wouldn't allow me to sleep there the rest of the night. I called my friend Gianna, who was still awake, and she said I could come sleep over for the rest of the weekend. The police escorted me there after I locked up my house. I'm grateful I didn't fall asleep that night, as I wouldn't have heard those tiny footsteps outside my room, and I might not have called the cops in time. I hardly use Snap. I find it to be an immature form of communication. I only have one so I can receive snaps from friends and occasionally send people snaps while I'm on vacation somewhere or doing something fun. I do not view Snapchat as a viable replacement for simply texting someone. That being said, when this girl Kate that I hadn't heard from in months, who I was kind of into, one night randomly snapped me, my face lit up a bit. She snapped me a picture in a
This dude was like, oh, my crush hit me so deep. Dude, when you get that feeling of this other girl you freaking kind of liked before, and they sent you something that, like, first time in a long time, freaking, I had this one friend, and when I see she sent something like with a red tag on Snapchat, I'd be smiling so big. You see, I know that, because I know that'd be a photo. Then and I think it's funny. You see that crush? Like, she text me. Be on a different freaking thing. You be like, let's go.
dark room, presumably her bedroom, saying, "What are you doing?" I replied with an awkward selfie, saying, "Watching Friends," made more awkward with the obnoxiously bright flash from my phone. Another reason I hate Snapchat, because I look terrible in selfies. Expecting her to run away after my selfie, she actually snapped back. I could barely make out part of her face. It was 90% black wherever she was, with a hint of red glow. She said in the snap to come to her place. I was done with the stupid selfies, so I just messaged her back asking where. She sent an address. It was 10 minutes away. I was bored, so why not? I got in my Chevy and started following towards the address. It wasn't that far. I was there quicker than expected, but I'm also a speedy driver. The address was of a house at the edge of the same town I live in. Since I have her number, I just texted her.
This dude was like, I'm about to become a man tonight, boys. Yeah. Me and my girlfriend about Netflix and chill.
But with my car idling and her not answering right away, I decided to just call her. The call was answered, but she didn't say anything on the other end. In fact, all I heard was garbled background noise, likely because the phone was answered by accident. I said hello a few times, hoping maybe she'd hear me in her back pocket or wherever her phone might have been. I listened for a little while, and eventually I started hearing a man's voice in the background. I screamed hello 2 more times into the phone, and then I distinctly heard in a girl's scream, "Help me," before the call was hung up. I didn't know what to make of all of that. I texted her one more time, "What's going on?" Minutes later, I got a text back saying, "Come in, I just opened the front door." I looked at the house.
Hey yo, that's a trap. Hey yo, that's a trap. That's a trap. You just hear a guy scream, and then you hear a girl scream, and then you hear the front door is open. Now, unless you live in that house where you have a bunch of kids and stuff, and you hear a bunch of screaming, I can agree with it. But no, you heard a whole full old man just go, and then he'll go, and you just hear a text, the door's open. Dude, you're about to get killed, captured, or better yet, you gonna leave that house a different person.
Sure enough, the front door was left open now.
Call the police too.
At the same time, I got another snap from Kate. I opened it immediately. It was a picture of her legs in a dark room. She was wearing ripped jeans and it looked like she was sitting on the floor.
I got sent that photo right before I got to a girl house. I probably would bust in that girl house without freaking caring anyways. She got the door unlocked. Like, what's the problem, man? You just heard a guy screaming in the background. It might just be your father yelling at her. And she's yelling back, you never know.
Something wasn't right here. I wasn't going in that house. I called 911 and reported a possible kidnapping situation. In the meantime, while waiting for the cops, I texted back the number, saying 1 second I'm on a phone call, then I'll come right in. But there was no answer. In fact, the next time I looked at the front door of the house, it was closed now. I was worried that what I was imagining was coming true. The cop car eventually pulled up behind my car, and I pointed them at the house. Another cop car pulled up quickly across the street, and 2 more cops got out. A total of 4 cops were knocking at the front door. A man opened the door, and they identified that they received a reported kidnapping in the house. One of the police officers actually let himself into the house past the man. The other 2 followed, while one stood with me by the front porch. Not even 30 seconds later, one of the cops yelled at the other 2 to get him in cuffs, and then a girl's cries for help soon became apparent from the basement. I was in absolute shock when the girl I recognized as Kate was being escorted out of the house in tears. She was a wreck. She looked like she had just experienced a life-changing trauma. I can't even imagine. This wasn't even her house. This was apparently the man's house. But the girl's aunt didn't live too far, so she was brought there. Obviously, the man was brought to jail, and I'm sure he's now in prison. That Kate girl really didn't seem to want to talk to me too much beyond thanking me for saving her life a bunch of times. I'm not mad about it, though. I understand. Experiencing whatever she went through in that basement is probably something no one wants to think about.
Next girl house he goes to, he might have a good ending. This time he didn't. This time he didn't. Next time, dude. Next time.
Greetings. My name is Terry Carnation of the podcast Dark Air with Terry Carnation.
Students with ADHD save 10 hours studying with this Chrome extension.
But no, by all means, go.
Reading a story for the aptly named Mr. Nightmare. I am an 18-year-old guy and a freshman in college.
Hold on. Now this making me afraid because I turned 18 next month. No, man. Don't make me scared. I'll turn 18 next month.
I go to school in my hometown so that for my first year I can live with my parents and save money on student housing. I go to Montana State University in Billings, the state's largest city. And no, we don't ride horses to school. We have cars. In school, I still knew and hung out with most of my high school friends that decided to stay in town for school as well. But
This dude lucky. I'm literally my friends. I think probably one of my friends going to school in South Carolina. I know I'm going to school in Florida. Called Full Sail. I like that school so far. My friend keep telling me me and him got an argument about it. Now he agrees with me that I should go after I showed him that Full Sail is better than any other college I applied for.
But in my calculus class, I didn't know anyone. I am pretty outgoing and can easily start a conversation with a stranger, but I strangely found it hard to make friends in that class. Eventually, I just gave up and went to class to learn rather than make friends. About 2 weeks into school, this guy I hadn't seen in class before started to sit near me. He would always come in around 10 minutes late and would sit as close to me as possible. It weirded me out, so I would sit as far from the door as possible to see if he was actually trying to sit near me. I observed that he would enter class late and walk past at least 10 open chairs just to sit beside, in front of, or behind me.
Why do you think it's kind of creepy if somebody sits close to you? That means he kind of be your friend, man. Like, someone was trying to sit close to me in the class where I had no friends, I'll probably accept that as, ooh, I got a new friendship. This guy might want to join the boys.
He had this creepy vibe. His hair was always messed up and greasier than a McDonald's burger. His clothes were ripped up and looked ancient, and his hands were always black with dirt. I am a neat freak, and always keep myself and my things clean and organized. So just looking at him repulsed me a little bit. He also looked way older than the rest of the class.
Dude, why are you judging how this man look and dress and his age and stuff like that? What's wrong with you? Not gonna hope when something bad happens to you, or something bad happens to you. I hope it happens. Can you judge this man how he looks, how his hands look, how his freaking age and stuff? Dude, you're mean. Like, you don't have to judge somebody how they look and stuff. You're a neat freak. Like, dude, you need what's this thing that's gonna come to you. It need to happen.
Almost like he was 40. He started to fall behind in class since he never took notes, and he started asking me for help. Even though he looked creepy and gross, he seemed very nice and shy. I felt bad for him and would explain problems to him when he asked me to, but tried to keep it casual and not be overly nice. One day, he asked me for my Snapchat so that he could get help when we weren't in class, since calc was only a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. After hesitation, I gave him my username. Strangely, he wrote it on his arm in huge letters with a king-sized Sharpie. After class, I was getting in my car to...
Hey, dude, you gotta write your username on his freaking arm. That's kind of cool. Wish I could get one of the boys to do that for me. Write Dizzwolf on their arm. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Go home, and saw that he had already added me and Snapchatted me. I groaned and regretted giving him my username. I got in my car and drove the 20 minutes home. By the time I arrived, I had forgotten about it and went about my day. I should mention now, a girl's name added me on Snapchat on this day too, so I added her back even though I didn't know who it was. Later that night, I got another Snapchat from him. I opened it. The first one from earlier that day was of his arm with my username on it. The caption had a ton of blushing faces on it.
Dude, imagine what one of my homies, one of the boys, he seen your photo of your name on their arm. That'll be nice. My God, that'll be so nice. I said, and they said this is blushing emojis. You know that you one of the boys. You gotta act sus to one of the boys. I would like to see one of the boys do that to me. Oh wait, they probably won't.
More than I could care to count. The second was a shirtless picture of him in a bathroom mirror, but it looked like a gas station bathroom.
Hey, sorry for pausing so much. Y'all wanna know the story? So one day, me and the boys all make funny jokes, and this one guy, we was all be video chatting each other on Instagram, and this guy was playing Fortnite, I believe, and he said, I want to get serious now. I said, you ain't that serious unless you take your shirt off. And he took his shirt off. That's when you know the boys are serious. When they take that shirt off, yeah. Hey, everybody, how about this? Everybody, if you part of your own little group, like the boys or the girlfriend, well, no, those girlfriends can't do it. Like your own little group, it's kind of like a bunch of boys. Y'all be sus to each other. You know what y'all should do? Send a freaking photo of yourself with no shirt on, and be like, sussy paka.
It said, the jeans you wore today were so tight around you, and I couldn't stop staring. I was immediately weirded out and considered blocking him. I thought better of it, though, and wanted to avoid an awkward situation in the next class we had together. I didn't reply to him and went about my night. I had a few friends over and left my phone sitting on the couch, and one of my friends picked it up and said, "Dude, who's this Jefferson guy? He sent you like 20 snaps." I grabbed my phone and scrolled through my notifications. I clicked on one, and it brought me to the chat section of Snapchat. The messages started off with him asking why I never replied, and got increasingly more angry and aggressive as they went down. Then a picture popped up, and I opened it. It was of my front door, and it read, "Come out right now."
Hey, yo, dude, you better come outside with a freaking baseball bat, cause that dude's finna hunt you down. That dude, I don't even know how he looks, but dude, you should have been stopping him back, dude. This on you, man. You should have been snapping this boy back. He probably wanted a freaking photo of you with no shirt on. You should have sent a photo of him with you with no shirt on, man. But no, he mad about that. Did my boy wrong?
In all caps, with about 100 exclamation points. I suddenly remembered I had my location on for Snap Maps, and he had tracked me to my house.
Hold on, I'm about to do something. No, that's scary as crap. Hold on, I'm gonna go to Snapchat real quick. Yeah, see, I'm gonna go to. See, I'm on Snapchat, guys. You know what I'm about to do? The Snapchat maps real quick, and I'm gonna take that off. Yep, I'm taking that off. Uh, See, I put in ghost mode. Yeah, I went on ghost mode. Nah. Yeah, I went on ghost mode. Nope. No one trying to figure out where I'm at. Nope.
I immediately screenshotted the picture and the messages. One of my friends recommended calling the police, but I wasn't worried since I didn't think he could get in. Flash forward 2 weeks, and I hadn't seen the guy since. One night I was watching people's stories and came across Jefferson again. I was horrified because I thought I blocked him. I looked at the username and saw that it was the username that I thought was a girl adding me all that time ago. He had made a fake Snapchat, knowing I would probably end up blocking him.
Jefferson is smart. His name was Jefferson. He's smart. This dude said, okay, I know you're going to block me, so if I act like I was a girl, I know you're definitely going to follow me. Cause I know you're straight. So that guy is smart. Smart.
His story was even creepier, though. It was a picture of me walking with my friends in a parking lot earlier that day. I was pissed now. I messaged him and asked why he wouldn't just leave me alone, and why he couldn't realize I didn't want to be his friend.
You didn't want to leave you alone? God dang, you're sexy. Yeah, kind of sexy, dude. Let him have you, man. Kind of sexy. Let my boy Jacob have you. I think his name. I forgot his name already.
He only replied with more pictures of me taken over the last couple of weeks. Me walking, me driving, me at the movies with my friends, me at a restaurant downtown.
Wish I had a stalker like that. If I had a stalker like that, I think I'll be famous. If someone would take a photo of me each time I walk around and stuff. I'm not that famous yet. But one day, when I get that stalker, I'm gonna get on free stuff just for the reason they're my stalker.
With a girl I liked. I was so completely creeped out that I blocked him again. I wish I had saved the pictures. But after I press charges for stalking, I imagine the photos will be subpoenaed for evidence. I have since turned off my location for Snapchat, and I only add back people that I know. Thank you, Mr. Nightmare, for that nightmarish story. Thank you, Tristan.
Hey, yo, my guy over here got that beard. Got a baby face, but that beard is gas. And everything, that beard is gas. I better start focusing.
For that indelible nightmare of a story that you've shared with us. Ugh, blood-curdling. Now, if I only knew what Snapchat was. I don't know what that is. Is it a device? I'm not sure.
Situation.
But I can only imagine. One can only imagine. And frankly, I'm most surprised by the fact that someone in Montana is studying calculus. I didn't know they had universities in Montana, let alone courses like calculus. I bet they ride horses to class instead of cars. Oh, Tristan. Stay safe out there, buddy. Stay safe, Tristan, and only add people you know to your chapsnats. Only add friends, and not creepy dudes. Full confession, that was me. But I am, however, a little older than 40. So, it was me, Tristan. It was me. This is Terry Carnation. I host the podcast Dark Air with Terry Carnation. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow me on my misadventures as I host a paranormal radio call-in show featuring, well, me, Terry Carnation. Thank you, Mr. Nightmare. Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, listeners everywhere.
Dude, that was nice, and let me just get rid of this. Hey, yo, that guy, that was funny. I think I like the Snapchat one. I think I like that one. That was funny. I thought it made jokes about that whole thing. The one with the paranormal stuff, it was scary. Yeah, I think I'm sleepy. I think I'm definitely sleepy at this point. It's about to be, record long enough. It's 3:42. Ooh, nothing bad happened. So, yeah, y'all me do another freaking reaction to scary stuff. I will, and I also will be playing more scary games. It wasn't that much scary. But y'all remember what he said? Watch out feeling on Snapchat. And that guy with that beard, I think I'm gonna have a good drink because of him. That beard look nice and cool. Well, this is my recording. I really, really hope it's good recording. I'm gonna edit all this stuff. Peace out, everybody. Goodbye.